Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A suspect has been identified in a recent burglary and theft incident by DPS. Also tonight, DPS is searching for suspects involved in a robbery in Chalacanoa. And more amendments are made to the casino license agreement. We have the details. In sports, the countdown to the mini games begins with golf. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Bubblegum Shrimp Company opens daily at 11 a.m. Located on Beach Road in the heart of Garapan.
Off a day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Tuesday, August 13th, 2019. A suspect has been identified in a recent burglary and theft. According to the Department of Public Safety, a burglary and theft incident occurred at the Young Corporation office located in Gualarai on April 24th, 2019. Investigations show video surveillance of entry by an individual named James Somerang through an unsecured door that led to a storage room where he took a yellow drywall screw gun. Somerang was interviewed and confessed to taking the screw gun and later trading it for alcohol at the LC Market in Gualarai. The case is being reviewed by the Attorney General's office and is awaiting formal charges to be filed before Somerang is arrested. Also in court, two males are looking to change their plea to guilty for burglarizing 7 business establishments in Saipan. 23-year-old Stephen Hasagulgum and 19-year-old Erwin Dwayne Terragezo are both charged with count 1 and count 2 of conspiracy to commit burglary and theft, count 3 and count 4 of burglary, and count 5 and count 6 of theft. Associate Judge Kenneth Govindo scheduled a change of plea hearing for October 1st, 2019 at 1:30 p.m. Also in court, a change of plea is made by a male for possessing a firearm in an establishment that sells alcohol. 56-year-old Francisco Ada is pleading guilty to possession of a firearm in a gun-free zone. In August of 2017, Ada possessed a firearm at Seaside Bar at the Pacific Islands Club. Court documents state Ada is charged with count 1 of possession of a firearm in a gun-free zone and count 2 of possession of a firearm while under the influence of alcohol. Ada is sentenced to 1 year imprisonment, all suspended, shall be placed under supervised probation for 6 months, must pay a fine of $1,000 and complete 100 hours of community service. House Bill 21-13 HG1 SS1 to amend the Sinai Cannabis Act of 2018 was passed and amended by both the Senate and the Sinai House of Representatives and is now with the Attorney General for a final approval before reaching Governor Ralph Torres for signature, which Governor Torres tells KSPN could be as early as next week.
So the Senate passed the bill with amendments, and then the House passed it. I just spoke to the AG yesterday. I'm confident that based on AG, I should be receiving that this week, and I look forward to signing that. Haven't seen it, but if things go well, I'll be signing that probably Monday. I hope that by then we'll be able to call the leadership in both houses, all the Congress and the Senate, and the Cannabis Commission. And I hope that we can move forward on this legislation bill and start promulgating rules and regulation and get our feet off the ground.
Once Governor signs the bill into law, the Cannabis Commission, consisting of 3 representatives from Saipan, 1 from Tinian, and 1 from Rota, will have 180 days to make rules and regulations to the law, including who will enforce the rules, before it officially becomes legal. The Department of Public Safety is seeking your help in locating suspects involved in a burglary incident in Chalankanoa. According to DPS, a 911 call was made reporting a burglary at MMC2 Apartments located in Chalankanoa. 3 different individuals stated their vehicles had been broken into. The first individual stated a JBL speaker and wireless headphone was missing. The second individual stated an HP laptop was stolen from the vehicle, and the third individual stated nothing was stolen as nothing valuable was left in the car overnight. All 3 victims had belongings scattered all over their vehicles. After interviews with DPS, all 3 victims also stated alarm systems were in the vehicles but were not heard the night of the burglary. If you have any information related to the burglary at MMC2 Apartments, call 911, or to remain anonymous, contact CNMI Crime Stoppers at 234-7272. The Commonwealth Lottery Commission held a special meeting to ratify the final draft of the 8th Amendment to the Casino License Agreement. KSPN speaks with the Commonwealth Lottery Commission Chairman Mark Robalaman for the details.
This was not necessarily a continuation, but back in May we had the public hearing, which had entertained 4 items.
And out of those 4 items, only 2 were brought before the Commonwealth Lottery Commission for amendments and approval in a special meeting.
Back then in May, the commissioners then agreed that it was something that we as the Lottery Commission would entertain, and they gave me the authority to kind of go into negotiations on their behalf with the Attorney General's office and of course the IPI representatives, which has been ongoing for a while. And once finally both parties, with of course the AG being present, both parties agreed to the language, and hence we called the special meetings that was held yesterday to ratify the language that we had both agreed upon.
The first amendment made is to the 2,000 guest room requirement.
That one was basically IPA coming in and asking the Lottery Commission to take into consideration any efforts that they do in terms of recruiting and inviting potential investors in the future, example Hilton's and whatnot, name brands, so that way they can be counted towards the 2,000 room requirement that they went into contract with.
The second amendment passed by the Lottery Commission is shareholder controlling interest, bringing the minimum shareholding restriction from 51% threshold down to 10%.
It's almost going hand in hand, but it is giving them the flexibility to be able to bring in more interested investors. So that way they'll be able to raise more capital. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we always want to see, especially the integrated gaming facility down there in Guam, be completed as soon as possible. So that gave them the flexibility to be able to reach out to the potential investors that they've been in talks with.
Coming up, KSPN sits down with the Commonwealth Casino Commission Executive Director to discuss the opposition being filed with the 9th Circuit Court. Find out more after the break.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Ah, Spain, home of the Grand McExtreme Bacon Burger from McDonald's. fresh beef, applewood smoked bacon, and Gouda cheese. But to get one, you'd have to get your passport, get to the airport, squeeze into the middle seat, go through customs, get into an itty-bitty taxi, say Llévame al McDonald's más cercano, and finally order one. Or get to your neighborhood McDonald's now, because for a limited time, worldwide favorites are here. Around the world is now around the corner.
Winigi Pechay Pharmacy in Gofadahi, Ihinim Lomo.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Ngere ayor sumaye ukalweres ren, kutsu wayor sa feye emal ebalisiu klalyam weres.
Inumin ng inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong pharmaceutical.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Last Friday, Imperial Pacific International filed an appeal in the Ninth Circuit Court on the CNMI District Court's decision denying its motion for a preliminary injunction. And the appeal states the Commonwealth Casino Commission has until 5 p.m. Pacific Time, August 13th, to file an opposition to the Ninth Circuit, which is tomorrow morning on Saipan.
Originally, it was the local law 1924 that specifically outlines tax information and certain information to include audit report as public information. And that was almost 2-3 years ago. And the Casino Commission issued a commission order to IPI to ask IPI to be in compliance with that order by releasing to CCC every month all the details of 1924. And every month they've been submitting to us a publicly accessible information pursuant to Public Law 1924. And only now that someone have requested to see it that we decided to comply with the release, but that's we're being challenged now. But my understanding is I was off island at the time the government partially allowed tax record and the redacted audit. So now they're contesting even the redacted and also the subsidiaries of IPI are contesting to keep their corporate information confidential. We're going to refrain and let the courts decide that, and I'm taking guidance from the Office of Attorney General to make to do what's necessary to respond to those litigations.
The Commonwealth Casino Commission Executive Director Edward De Leon Guerrero says the federal case is now with the CNMI AG's office, Chief of the Civil Division Christopher Timmons, and could not discuss any details on the matter. However, De Leon Guerrero says they are on top of the situation. Previously, the case was handled by Assistant Attorney General Ben Petersburg and CCC Legal Counsel Mike Ernst. IPI may file a reply in support of their own motion by 5 p.m. August 14th Pacific Time. On Guam, senators have racked up quite the travel costs so far this year on the taxpayers' dollar. And Japan has made flying a bit easier by adding more seats to their route. KUAM reports.
Half a day CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. Senators have racked up $33,000 in official travel so far this term. And just who is the legislature's most frequent flyer? Chris Barnett has more.
$33,000 in travel costs for senators in the 35th Guam legislature, and that's so far in this term. According to travel documents provided by the legislature, 10 official trips have cost you, the taxpayers, $32,951. Your taxpayer dollars used for travel to Majuro, Saipan, Nashville, Tennessee, and Washington, D.C. While some senators have flown solo, birds of a feather do fly together, as 4 senators spent $20,000 attending the National Conference of State Legislators meeting from August 3rd through the 10th in Nashville, Tennessee. Vice Speaker Talina Nelson and Senators Amanda Shelton, Regine Bisco-Lee, and Telo Taitagui attended that conference. Senators Bisco-Lee, Kelly Marsh, Taitano, and Speaker Tina Munia Barnes spent $6,000 to attend the Association of Pacific Island Legislatures General Assembly in Majuro from July 23rd to the 27th. Now, it should be noted that senatorial travel clocks in at less than a third of what senior staffers, the governor, and the lieutenant governor at Adelup have spent on travel so far this year. So, which of your senators is the most frequent flyer? Well, it's close. Senator Shelton has spent $8,879 on 2 stateside trips, but Senator Lee has spent the most taxpayers' money on travel at $9,493 on 3 trips. Senator Lee telling KUAM News in a statement, "This travel is directly related to my duties as chairperson on federal and foreign affairs. I focused on crime reduction strategies and environmental protection at APIL, Medicaid disparities with DOI, the need for more efficient benefits review process for veterans with the Office of Minority Veterans, and labor policy at the NCSL. I know who I work for, and I do everything I can to keep their trust." For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Japan Airlines has upsized its Guam service from a 767 aircraft to a 777. It means an increase in capacity by about 30% per flight, but perhaps more importantly, a rise in confidence in the Guam route.
Japan Airlines made the switch to the larger aircraft starting this month, says Assistant for Administration and Passenger Traffic Jason Mondina, in response to an increase in demand.
From a 767 to a 777, we have 113 more seats versus our 767, which had a capacity of 199. With this Boeing 777, we're now at a 312 capacity.
JAL had cut back service in recent years, and other carriers, such as Delta and All Nippon Airways, had pulled out altogether. Director of Administration Hajime Fujiwara says there's always been fluctuations, but lately they've seen signs of growth in the once dominant Japan market.
Currently, we are making an effort to visit more customers from Japan. I believe the demand has increased due to our relationship with business partners in Japan or in Guam, and the Guam Visitors Bureau and travel agency, etc.
The airline also announced it opened a new section at the airport's Sagan Bisita Lounge for business class passengers and different tier status frequent flyers. Japan Airlines will celebrate its 50th anniversary of service to Guam next year.
Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest, on KUAM.com. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Thank you, Adriana. Coming up, well, you know, all tournaments of champions are classic, and some are more classic than others.
I'm Thelma, a certified ophthalmic assistant here at Mariana's Eye Institute.
One of the most common eye problems is dry eyes, but the symptoms can sometimes be confusing.
So frequently people will come to me and tell me that their eyes are watering all the time, and I'll tell them, oh, you've got dry eye. And they'll say, how can it be dry when they're watering all the time? Your job is usually a very good predictor of how much aggravation this will cause you. If you're staring at a computer screen, if you're doing a lot of reading, your blink rate slows down, and now, because your eyes are open more often, they dry out quicker, and the problem then gets aggravated. If you're under a ceiling fan or air conditioning, that also will aggravate the underlying problem in which the eye would then start to water. So you can actually have a wet, dry eye. The treatment, lubrication.
This has been Dr. Dennis Williams of the Mariana's Eye Institute.
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the 24th Governor's Tournament of Champions was, by all accounts, a huge success, bolstered by 54 off-island golfers. Inclement weather from a nearby typhoon did not dampen enthusiasm or curb appetites. The Tournament of Champions celebrated its 24th year on Saipan at Lau Lau Bay Golf Resort. 2 days, 36 holes, underneath a leaden sky. It was a preview of how Saipan can host a large international golf tournament. This after Governor Ralph Torres and the Pacific Games Council came to an agreement earlier this summer that followed first a cancellation and then a negotiated reshuffle that reduced the number of sports to only 6. Golf is on the short list.
Well, this is something that a lot of our locals here, and then a lot of like for these events, making it international, so having that one of the sport will hopefully bring more enthusiasts to the island and increase our marketing here and showcase our talents.
Mariana Strong?
Mariana Strong.
The good vibrations at the awards banquet was due to, well, sure, $300,000 worth of prizes, but there was more than just that. The tournament's execution was flawless, thanks to an army of close to 100 volunteers who staked out the course. Okay, wait. Okay, now go ahead. Hey. No, pose.
I took a picture of you.
Really? Is it good? Let's see. Arriving before sunrise, they were hungry for lunch by 9:30.
Since when did lunch start at 9:30?
Golf etiquette was on display throughout. Marco Peter reminded his playing partners that they were in the A flight and etiquette required them no talking during the downswing. When Rick Couch saw a deformed lip on the cup on hole number 7 on the East Course, he sought a tournament official's help on the rule. The tournament allowed the renewal of friendships across the Marianas. What do you think about this? So many people coming from Guam. You must know a lot.
That's awesome. Actually, this is Scott. He's
Scott,
from Guam.
You're from Guam. Scott, you're one of 34 people from Guam that came over. That's a tremendous. I think that's the largest turnout ever. What's the appeal? Why did you guys group band together?
Because we like the course here, and it's it's the time of the year that everybody can get away.
Plus, you get to see James Nelson.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right,
buddy.
Mary Rhodes knows that link between Guam and Saipan.
So we've been hosting the Tourism Cup, which is the old TOC on Guam. So we have reciprocity with DFS. So we actually bring all of our winners from our tournament to Saipan, and then Saipan brings their winners to Guam every year.
She welcomes Pacific countries to come to the Marianas for those mini games.
Well, it's really great exposure for everybody, for more of our players from our region to play together. And then, of course, Saipan has some of the greater courses in this area, so it's really nice to have everybody come and check out the areas.
Super senior Vic Borja knows the area quite well. The Guam living legend has 6 first or second place finishes at TOC.
We like to visit our neighboring island, number 1. And it's wonderful coming to Saipan all the time.
Top golfers prefer the simple stroke scoring.
Well, number 1 is that this is one of the 2 tournaments in the Marianas that is individual stroke play. It's not a team play.
Callaway.
Yeah.
And no Peoria.
Yeah, no Peoria.
No double Peoria.
Yeah. So it's more a challenge of yourself now.
The Pacific Games golf competition will use that same scoring format. Lau Lau Bay appears to be the front runner as the venue for those 2021 games, with 2 courses hugging rugged cliffs with jaw-dropping views. Lau Lau Bay Golf Course certainly would be welcomed by visitors. In fact, people working at the resort are already thinking about that.
I think we could do 2 would be good because they play 4 rounds. So they could play 2 rounds in one course and 2 on the other.
Well, holding a golf tournament in August on Saipan is risky business. Heavy rains have forced cancellation of rounds in the past. 4 years ago, remember, Typhoon Sadalor wrecked the island just hours after the TOC Awards banquet. Weather threatened but did not stop the 2006 Tournament of Champions, a KSPN2 Sports Classic. After a hot, sticky Saturday, golfers returned to Lau Lau Bay Golf Resort to see flags whipping Sunday and sand traps turn into water hazards, but the golf gods smiled and said, play on.
We're playing it by here. Obviously, the best accurate weather is physically here, and it's great. Great weather out there, a lot of wind, and by all means, it hasn't rained yet. So thank God for the golf god.
Once again, the Saipan Beautification Fundraiser attracted a large group of players and left $1 million on the course.
This year, we have 209 golfers. We have a handful from Japan, almost 12.5 from Guam, and Rhoda delegate, and including Tinian, and of course our local golfers. A lot of excitement going on with all the prizes up for grabs on day 2. And of course we did the million hole-in-one this morning, and unfortunately nobody got on the green, but better luck next time.
Fred Hokog coming from Rhoda to play here, one of the 201 who was not a champion. Came all the way out here for this to be a champion?
Yep.
Can you be a champion today?
No, not today.
Not today, okay. Let's just say golfers had to battle the course and the conditions.
I guess it will, since we're encountering strong winds plus the greens, which is really fast. I guess all the scores will be pretty high today.
Is the wind bothering you guys?
It doesn't seem to be bothering anybody but me. I'm sorry to say.
Oliver Sasaki, the defending champion, found himself in an uphill fight as Jess Wobble grabbed the first day lead in the championship flight with a 73 and never let it go. He concluded with a 74 on Sunday to be the champion of champions. His 147 was 5 strokes better than runner-up Jung Hoon Park. One of the most interesting competitions came in the senior class, where Ed Peter and Jess Titano not only dressed alike, they played together, and they each shot a 160 to tie for first place. Titano winning on a tiebreaker. Francis Sablon looking for a par on number 17 West Course, and the ball slides past the cup, out of the money. In the money for the women, Lena Kim, she had a 159 low gross, and Shiori Inouye, a low net. Other champions included in the A flight, Alfred Asuncion with a 162. Charlie Joe's 167 took the B flight, while the C flight went to Yoji Ozeki, 171. Jose T. Sablon won the Super Seniors with a 166.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Today's high 88, the heat index 103, the low 79, humidity 75%. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, isolated showers. Winds light and variable. High 90, low 79. High surf advisory is in effect. Seas 79 feet. Sunrise 6:02, a low tide at 1:24, followed by sunset at 6:41.
All right, thank you, Bob, for that weather report.
Well, we're not here to chit-chat.
So, you know what? Have a good night.
Good night.